Right. All right. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shemi Shabakathum, to all my brothers. Shalom, Yahweh. It's like Yahweh. It's like Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shabakathum to all the brothers. Yahweh Shemar Allah Thun Bahashem Yahweh to all the sisters. And got stuck a little there. I'm over here thinking of Spanish. All right, so today's class is where has the love of your God gone? You know what I'm saying? If any brother, you know what I'm saying, before I start too, like make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, all these classes. You know what I'm saying? If y'all could too, give some love for UPK Mexico, ISUPK Mexico, right? Mexico. Um, right? Like, share, and subscribe to all the YouTube, Facebook, also ISUPK Arizona. You know what I'm saying? We're over here in La Finiquera trying to get our people straight, get our people right with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Once again, this is the ISUPK. I'm Precinct Officer Amataza out here in Arizona, right? The ISUPK, home of the truth, under Commander Jerry Yohanan. Since 1969, we've been teaching the blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, our God's chosen people, right? That we need to turn back to the Lord, man. We cannot do this without the Lord. What are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? What can your, you know what I'm saying, Minutemen do against the, you know what I'm saying, the army of our enemies? You can't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? You can't do nothing without the Lord's help. And throughout history, it has been proven that without the Lord, we cannot get out of this captivity, man. We cannot do this ourselves. You go ahead and try. I mean, Lord be with you or not, you know. But as far as this goes, hey, shalom, shalom, sir. As far as this goes, what we need to do is we need to come back and see what our Lord wants from us. So with that, let's start with the class. You know what I'm saying? Let's get First John 2 and 3, right? Because as far as what we're talking about here, we're talking about what? What? Love, right? Now, to help our people out, what we need to know is what is love, right? Let's get 2 and 3 says, it's like, let me get the sword. First John 2 and 3. It says, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. One thing straight. Let's get one thing straight, right? If you say you love God and you say you know God and you're telling people to come and learn about God, what's one thing that's going to prove or show that, right? It says here, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. Simple. If you keep his commandments, if what you're teaching, what you're doing, what you're showing, if you're telling our people that it's okay to eat pork, right? It's okay that the laws are done away with. You don't know nothing. You, it's best that you just stay quiet. You know what I'm saying? Verse 4 says, he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not with him. So, all you young men out there, right? For all you brothers out there, first thing you gotta understand is that the Bible is very simple. It doesn't get complicated until you come front to front with a Christian. When you trying to learn, and a Christian is trying to teach you, you gonna get all types of twisted words, and you know what I'm saying, all types of doctrines and this and that, and you know, you gonna get it, you're gonna get messed up, right? But if you really want to learn, I suggest you take a seat or get that flyer and give us a call, because really you're not learning anywhere else but here. If you want to learn, listen to this. Verse 4 says, "He that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him." So, what does that tell you? Just listen to what the priest and prophet are saying, or really listen to what who you trust in. Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what they're doing. You trust him. You trust him. You trust a liar that tells you to not keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You trust him. A man that says that he is a what? A Christian, right? A follower of Christ, because that's really what a Christian is. But in reality, now Christianity has been tainted with the word, or with the lie, right? That they believe they follow God, or so like they want to show and say and you know what I'm saying, blah blah blah, that they love God. In reality, they don't, because they're teaching our people to hate God, right? Because if you telling them to laws are done away with, what are you teaching them? You're teaching them to hate God. Verse 4 says, Salaki 5 says, "But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that saith he abideth in him," Slakim, that's it on that, right? "You do not love God." You Christians, you know what I'm saying? What? Catholics, you religious leaders, right? You do not love God, nor do you know him, right? Nor can you teach anybody about him. Why? Because you don't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. What are you doing? What are you doing? All you're doing is teaching vanity. All you're doing is teaching what your heart tells you. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're teaching. You're teaching your own deceitful lust. That's what you teach. You don't teach nobody. You know what I'm saying? You don't teach the truth. You change the truth into a lie. Hey, shalom, sis. So, like I said, if you are not doing what or if you're not showing your people the truth, what are you doing? You're leading them astray. You're leading them to another, to a wicked way, a wicked path, a destructive path. You know what I'm saying? Let's get real quick. Let's get First John 2 and 15. Right. 2 and 15 says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." What is that telling you? From what we just read on First John 2 and 3, right? If you keep his commandments, the love of the Father is with you. You know what I'm saying? That you love the Most High, you know the Most High. But if you love the world, then you hate the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So what is the world? Go ahead.
The world would be this current society that we live under right now, and every other society that isn't walking after the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible.
Gone. If you're not what anything that is against the Most High, that's the world. Anything that goes against the Most High, as far as you know what I'm saying, committing adultery, you know what I'm saying, lusting after your brother's wife. What's another one? celebrating the holidays like Easter, Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying? All these other things, right? Those are part of the world. What the world teaches us is that you have freedom. You know what I'm saying? America teaches you that you have so much freedom, you can do whatever you want to do. But when it comes to us speaking the truth in the streets, we have zero freedom in that. When it comes to us, you know what I'm saying, printing out an abortion sign to teach our sisters about not having an abortion, about having an abortion is wrong, that's evil. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying? We got they can stop. You have plenty of freedom to do all types of things, right? Change your sexuality, change whatever, right? But when it comes to changing for the Lord's sake, you know what I'm saying, changing for a righteous, you know what I'm saying, say it's wrong. They call you evil for that. They call you wrong, right? You tell your mother you don't want to eat the pork, that you tell her, she tells you that what, you're wasting food. That's wrong, right? So so it says, right? First John 2:15 says, love not the world, right? So you're gonna have to love what God loves and hate what he hates. And the Most High said, love not the world. Don't love what's in there, right? Don't love. You're going to leave that world behind. You might as well leave everything. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you just keep, right? It's like you're holding on to something. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what's that woman they got turned into Lot's wife, right? Lot's wife loved her home so much, her disgusting, filthy home so much that she got turned into a pillar of salt. She got turned into a pillar of salt because why? Because she disobeyed the Lord. If you just listen and hearken and meditate the law day and night, if you just hearken unto the voice of the Lord, you would have just been there with your husband. But because you disobeyed and you wanted to follow what your heart tells you, right? You wanted to follow what your heart tells you. Your heart tells you, you know what I'm saying, all types of things. The heart is deceitful above all things. You know what I'm saying? And who can know it? Who can tell you, you know what I'm saying, what you feel is wrong and right? The Lord can, man. What your feelings have nothing to do with what the Lord says. What the Lord says and what he established from the beginning, and that's what's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to religion, it keeps changing generations after generations. For instance, just a quick history, right? Before Christmas was Christmas, it was a day of, you know what I'm saying, to celebrate a king and a ruler, Nimrod, right? Worshipping this tree where he was buried under, it just made it into a national holiday through the help of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? With the help of Christianity, they modified the story and they made it to where everybody can just get together and just be jolly. You know what I'm saying? Have that Christmas spirit, right? And give that tree that gift. Because at that time, right before time, that those gifts would be given to the king or to the rulers, right? And they would receive the gifts. Now you give the gift to that tree where nobody understands where the story came from, but we do, right? We understand the history, the origin of Christmas as it is in the Bible as well, right? And we understand what the history of that is, and all it really is vanity, right? And because our people are so carnal, we don't understand the spiritual things. You know what I'm saying? We don't understand what's right in front of you. You don't understand what's true, right? What can save a man's life. What can save a sister's life? What can save your home? You know what I'm saying? And what can save your home is loving not the world. You know what I'm saying? Hating the world, moving away, taking yourself away from that. Let's get John Slakia. Let's get John 3 and 16.
I got it wrong.
Go ahead.
It's the book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son,
That he gave his what?
his only begotten Son,
Keep going.
that whosoever,
That what?
that whosoever,
That who?
whosoever
Go ahead.
believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. That whosoever, right, can be very deceiving to a weak, you know what I'm saying, a weak-minded person. You know what I'm saying? Because when we read this, we might think that it's talking about the whole world, but we just read in John what 2 and 15, love not the world, right? But here God said, the Most High said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. So is there a contradiction? Does the Bible contradict itself? God forbid, right? There is no contradiction. The thing is that what we are being taught in these religions, right, and outside of here, is that you can believe whatever you want to believe. You can love whoever you want to love. You know what I'm saying? You can follow whoever you want to follow. But in reality, there's only one way. You know what I'm saying? Ephesians 4 and 4 says there's only one truth, right? There's not your truth, my truth. No, there's only one truth, right? There's only one God, and there's only one baptism. There's only one way to get right. And there's only one people that the Lord loves. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that in Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 6 and 7. Or is it 7 and 6? It's like 7 and 6. Come on. So like you had some?
If I could, sir,
Go ahead.
to build on your point, sir, the scriptures also tell us there is no private interpretation of these scriptures.
Right. Exactly. Like what can I say? Like this is one thing that I learned as a young man coming in here, right? Is that I knew nothing. I was a fool, right? I was a fool. I didn't know anything, and I couldn't know anything without being in here, right? Because coming in here under Commander Jerry Hanna, I understood what real life is about. And I've always asked the same question too to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I asked them the same question, right? I asked them like, what do you believe life is about? You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to know that. I always wanted to understand what life was about. And coming in here gave me an eye opening to what real life is about. You know what I'm saying? And what we're being taught from a child is that it's okay to give up. It's okay to be weak. It's not okay to be weak. It's not okay to give up. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to what? Endure to the end. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to endure is because you got you giving up. You when you give up, what you have done is you giving yourself to that demon. You know what I'm saying? You have giving yourself up to Satan and said, you know what I'm saying? I'm done. That's why you get into drugs. That's why you get into alcoholism. That's why you become a whore. That's why you become a friend of the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to be part of the world. You don't want to leave that world behind. You miss it so much. You're gonna what? You're gonna have to turn back one more look just to get a taste of reality. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Unto himself, right? Thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee. That's another thing too.
Right.
Don't ever think that you chose the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to choose. I mean, you in America, you can choose whatever religion,
Right.
but when it comes to the Lord, He chose you. Don't ever think that you chose this. He chose you, man. You know what I'm saying? Out of the ghettos, out of the barrios, out of the slums, out of the res, He chose you, right? To be a what? To be a special people, and to be special is something, man. To be above all people is something. You're gonna have to do extreme things, you know what I'm saying, to be above people, above everybody else. And that's gonna be what? What's something extreme that nobody wants to do? Who can guess? What was that? Serve the Lord is a good. I want some, you know what I'm saying, more rock solid, you know what I'm saying? That's very general.
Nobody wants to be obedient.
Obedient? Nobody wants to be obedient? Okay. You got some?
Like it, sir. See, we're gonna have to do the thing that Noah did, is saying, World War III is coming.
Okay.
Destruction is coming.
But just look at what we're reading. It's right in front of you, right? What does the first thing say?
Be holy.
Be holy. Exactly. Give the sister a hand. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be holy. And what does holy mean? To be separate. You're gonna have to separate yourself from the world. Separate yourself from everybody else, because everybody else doesn't, like the sister said, doesn't want to serve the Lord, right? But you do. And you being around those people is not gonna help you, right? We're around those people 24/7, right? Some of us live with those people, right? The difference is that, do you agree with them? You know what I'm saying? Are you work with them all the time, but they tell you, they bring pork, they bring shrimp, lobster, all these types of things, pizza parties with pork. You know what I'm saying? They have all these things, but in reality, are you with them? No. Are you gonna say lie? Or they offer you that food? What are you gonna say? Exactly. That's the first thing. Why? Because the brother has what? He has the law as his front legs. You know what I'm saying? He has the law in front of him, and that's the thing that you want to have. You want to have that same love that the Lord has for us. You know what I'm saying? Serve the Lord. And what is serving the Lord? Keeping His commandments. That's what love is, man. You know, go ahead. Keep going. 7.
Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people.
Right, because we were the fewest, we were the youngest,
Right.
the youngest nation to come out. Right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For ye were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath.
Keep what?
The oath.
Go ahead.
Which he had sworn unto your fathers.
Once again, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Keep going.
Hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of
and what?
And redeemed you.
Right, keep going.
Out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Right. And America is that same house.
Right.
America is the same house of bondmen, of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which is bondage, right? Keep going. Read verse 9. Finish that for me.
Verse 9. Now, know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy.
Keepeth what?
Covenant and mercy.
Right. He keeps the covenant. Right. The Lord is gonna keep his part of the deal.
Right.
What's the issue here? Right? What's the issue here? Go ahead.
We are not keeping our part of the deal.
We're not keeping that part of the deal. To make a covenant, there has to be both parties in agreement with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's the Lord and us, right? The Lord made a covenant with our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob, father of
Jacob, father of Israel.
Israel, right? The 12 tribes, right? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? We need to keep our part as well. We need to keep that same covenant, right? Keep the covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, man. You're gonna have to keep this covenant going, man. You're gonna have to keep it alive. You're gonna have to teach your brothers, teach your sisters, teach your children, man. Keep this covenant going. Tell your brothers and sisters, hey, make sure it doesn't have pork. Hey, make sure you don't stand up for the flag. You know what I'm saying? We don't worship flags here. We don't worship no Christmas tree. We don't worship no Easter bunny. We don't worship none of that. Keep this covenant going, man. Because if not, what's gonna happen? We gonna forget. We gonna get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is not gonna be with us. You know. Go ahead. You had something?
Slovakia. This is what happens if we don't keep our side, sir. The very next verse.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hated him. He will repay him to his face.
Right. And like again, that hate is you not keeping his commandments. Right? If you decide to say, well, we can't keep all of them. Well, if you decide that to say, well, it's impossible, right? Well, how can you say that without trying, right? How can you say that, right? Because as we know, faith without works is dead. If you don't work, you know what I'm saying? Nobody came in here saying, oh, it's easy. I'm not sitting here telling you it's easy. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? We fight till we drop. We endure to the end because we know that there's something greater than just being a slave. There's something greater than just, you know what I'm saying, kneeling to our carnal flesh. And that is spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Something that I pray you one day get it. You know? Like I've seen some things where it's like I've experienced some things where I was just like, man, I never knew I dodged a bullet. I never knew I could have escaped that. Without the Lord being with me, I couldn't have. A fool in the world could not have, you know what I'm saying, escaped that. But you know what? The Lord is with me. The Lord is with us. But you can't say that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't keep his commandments. And you cannot say that, especially if you're losing. You cannot say that, especially if you're teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that it's okay to do away with the law because Christ died for our sins. Right? Wrong. Salakia. That's wrong. But it's what they say. And let's get give me a second. Give me Psalms 2 and 8. No, Salakia. Psalms 5 and 4.
book of Psalms, chapter 5, verse 4. For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee.
Keep going.
The foolish shall not stand in thy sight.
Right.
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity, meaning it's the sinner and the sin. You know what I'm saying? It's not one or the other. It's both of them. You know, if you're sinning, that's why labels are good, man. You know what I'm saying? Labels are perfect for a reason because it lets you know what type of person you are. If you are dressing a certain way, like what's that one brother that says if you have a, it's like, oh, it was Dave Chappelle, right? Dave Chappelle says, if I'm over here dressed as a cop, have a gear and everything, and somebody comes up to me and says, "Oh, please, officer, come, help us. We need your help." And I'd say, "How dare you judge me just by the way I look?" Well, if you got a cop uniform, obviously you're gonna assume that he has to be a cop.
Right.
So if a woman is dressed like a whore, you're gonna assume she's a whore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So labels are there for a good reason. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. You had something?
Slovakia precept, if I could,
Go ahead.
to build in a point that the Most High does not just hate the sin, but loves the sinner, because that doesn't make any damn sense. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 6. For the Most High hateth sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment.
Right. No, that's absolutely right. I mean, come on, man. You're gonna get punished for what you do. Everything, like, I don't think people understand that everything you do is being recorded. You know what I'm saying? The angels take records of everything you do. And once you know what I'm saying, once judgment day comes, the books are open. It's just like being in front of a court. You know what I'm saying? Once you die, you're in front of a judge, and the judge, with what you did in this earth, with all the works that you've done, good and bad, you know what I'm saying, small and great, you put that, and you get your judgment. You know what I'm saying? You get your judgment. So that's in I believe it's in the um Revelations. For time's sake, we'll leave that, right? But anyways, let's get Psalms 9 and 6.
The book of Psalms, chapter 9, verse 6. O thou enemy, destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities.
Thou hast what?
Destroyed cities.
Thou hast destroyed cities. Keep going.
Their memorial is perished with them.
Their memorial is perished with them. Keep going.
Verse 7. But the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment.
Right. Keep going.
And he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness.
Right. In uprightness. Right. Don't ever think that. Right. Like whenever something bad happens, just know that it was because the Lord allowed it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord did it. Right. So whenever we see something like across seas or on the national news where it's like, oh, what happened to Hawaii or stuff like, you know what I'm saying, around the world, right? It's like, oh, why would God allow this? Or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, God, please no, or things like that, right? We say things as far as like, why did this happen, oh Lord? Just know is that the Lord was not with them. And the Lord cannot be with you as well. The Lord can be most definitely against you depending on what you do, right? Your actions dictate whether or not the Lord should be with you. You know what I'm saying? I forget the verse. I believe is we will stay bold. Or actually, before I get that, keep going. Verse 9.
Okay. Verse 9, the Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed.
For the who?
The oppressed.
For the oppressed. Keep going.
A refuge in times of trouble.
Right. The Lord will also be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. You get in a tight situation, the Lord can be with you. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, blacks and Hispanics, we have so many enemies, we cannot count them. You know what I'm saying? It's just like left and right. But let you know what I'm saying, the East Indians, you know what I'm saying, need a way of salvation. They're gonna send an army airplane over to their land, bring them here to American soil, safe, with jobs, with everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything, all paperwork ready for them. You know what I'm saying? A business started, everything. But Latinos, you know what I'm saying, so-called Mexicans, Guatemalans, Salvadorians, Hondurans, right? Venezuelans, all of our people, what happens? What do you get? Go ahead.
They get razor wire put in the damn water.
I was about to say that. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely right. You get razor wire all around you. You get what? You get persecuted. You get called a criminal for wanting some help. Just for wanting help is like a crime in the eyes of our enemies. Like in the eyes of our enemies, they see you looking and searching for help, and it's like, how dare you? How dare a black man look for help? And in their eyes, they also say this too. Haven't we given you enough? You should be grateful, right? Once you come and receive it, it's like you should be grateful you went through slavery. You should be grateful that, you know what I'm saying, we whipped your backs. You should be grateful for all these things. If it wasn't for us, you would have been still savages. Go ahead.
The perfect thing that embodies the spirit of Esau and his offspring is that goddamn Red Titan from Marvel, that Thanos character.
Thanos.
Yeah, you should be grateful for what? For killing us off, right?
Right, for erasing them.
Right.
Exterminating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What do they call that?
Genocide.
Genocide, right?
Cultural cleansing.
Right. I mean, that's a little, nah. It's a little too cleansing. Nah, hell no. That was not cleansing.
Yep.
That was not. That was a genocide. That was murder.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? The Native Americans called it a trail of tears. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Our First Nation brothers called it a trail of tears for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You think they were jolly, you know what I'm saying? You think they were happy going, you know what I'm saying, walking, hearing children cry, and as they were crying, they were silenced by the hands of an oppressor on their ankles, smashing them against a tree, smashing them against a rock. You think that was happy? You think that was a day of Thanksgiving? You think it was a day to give thanks to our oppressor for this national holiday? No, man, it's a day of mourning, man. And every day should be a day of mourning, serving under these oppressors, man. We need to wake up, man. And like Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, oppression maketh the wise man mad. You're gonna have to look at everything that's being done to your people and be angry and sin not. You know what I'm saying? Like it could destroy a brother's, it could destroy you listening to this. And it's just like that one brother that in Texas that just went in on a shooting. What did that do? You remember it was a while back. Killed 5 cops, I believe, or wounded, injured. I believe he killed like 3 right? But he was ex-military coming home. Like, come on, man. That doesn't do anything, right? That brother did all that for nothing, right? You can do the same thing. What was that? NFAC, right? NFAC goes and march with 100 or whatever, right? Black armed men. I believe women too, right? Women too, right? And what happened? You shoot yourself in the foot. You pass out from dehydration. You know what I'm saying? All these types of things because you are not ready for war. Right? What the war? Give me um con. This war that we're fighting is not, it's not carnal. It's not something where it's like you gonna pick up arms and that would be a much easier fight. But really, it's not. You're gonna have to get right. We're gonna have to fix our homes. We're gonna have to fix ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to fix yourself first. Fight your demons. How can you fight without fighting your conquering yourself, conquering your demons? You know what I'm saying? How can you take over a nation when you tell somebody tells you something and you react emotionally? Emotional. You react emotional in the sense where they tell you something, you get angry, and it's like when the wind blows and you're like a weak leaf already loose. The wind blows one way and that's where you go. They tell you something else and you go the other way. You're weak. You're emotional. You're undisciplined. You got to discipline yourself into fighting yourself because one thing for sure is that Satan agrees with you. Satan is agreeing with you, and you think that person in your head or that voice in your head is God or is something. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say the heart is deceitful above all things. Go ahead.
It's a lot even worse. I learned this from you, sir. Satan is so crafty that he knows how to speak to you in a voice inside your head that sounds like you.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, come on, man. They call him Satan for something, for a reason, right? Deceitful. Serpent. The most deceitful, you know what I'm saying, serpentine beast in the field. Like, you gonna get, he's gonna try to convince you to go against what the Lord says. Right? You got that? Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds.
To the pulling down of strongholds, man. Don't think that this war is something carnal. This is not something where you just pick up arms and fight. You know, many of our brothers have tried that. I mean, who like brown beret, brown berets, Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying? All these other malicious groups, right? But at the end, where they at? Right? Like where? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where they at? And really, it's just that you can't fight an enemy with just carnal. You're gonna have to fight them a different way. You're gonna have to fight them in a strategic way, and it starts with ourselves, getting ourselves right, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, making sure that the Lord is with you before you fight an enemy that is greater than you. Do that first. You know what I'm saying? Because if the Lord's not with you, I mean, we just read, what was it, last week? Were you here? When we were talking about the enemy, the invasion of another country in I believe is in Joshua, right? So, anyways, basically, we just took over a I forget what the city was called, Jericho, right? they're taking over Jericho. They just took it over, and then they go over to another city, and it's like because they took that that yeah, the Babylonish garment. They disobeyed the Lord's order. The Lord went against them, and it just shows. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta be quick to listen and slow to speak. You know what I'm saying? And think that you think you know something, but really in reality, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? That's how you cut your enemies, right? Is that it on that, or did you have something? We could drop that. Let's get give me Proverbs 8:36.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death.
Love what?
Death.
All that who?
Hate me, love death.
All that hate me love death. That's it. And you would think that. You would think that look walking out, you see brothers and sisters, you see, you know what I'm saying, heathens smoking that fentanyl. Non-stop. They love death. It's crazy. But you also don't see that pork is killing you. You know what I'm saying? Number one in diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Number one in all types of illness and plagues and diseases. And we continue to disobey the Lord. We continue to please ourselves with our flesh. Go ahead.
It's like if I can build your point, sir, our people are so sick that we don't realize things that are in our face, such as every Christian pastor. We don't even realize that they should be checked in the very middle of a sermon. Somebody should just stand there, hey, where's all the money going? We don't even know simple things like, how are you rich, but I don't even have a car? No one has the balls to do stuff like that or tell our people. So we've been voting for over 50 years. And because it's like over 40 years, and we still don't own a square mile where this whole square mile is all just Black, Hispanic, and Native. Nobody else can come on this land. We don't own a single state, and yet we've built everything that this goddamn country is. We maintain it, and when it breaks, we repair it.
Right.
And they tell us, if you don't like it, go back to Africa. And then they call the tribe of Yashikar illegal aliens. Like they're the only goddamn illegal. But we don't realize simple things that are in our face. We love death because we love as a people, we love death, hating the Most High.
Right, and it's so true because I remember listening to a story, right, where there's a church. I forget the church, man. There's a church where it's like red, it has a heart, and it looks like a dove, a white dove, right? It also looks like a hand like that or something like that, right? I forget the church's name, but anyways, that church was telling this woman who had a husband that was a crackhead to sell her house and sell all her furniture and give it to the church, and the Lord will help her husband change. And her husband got mad and chastised her wife because she said what he told her, me being a crackhead, like your pastor's worse than me. I'm a crackhead. I could have done that and got me the drugs, but you're doing all this and he's stealing from you. Nothing stop doing that. You're dumb. And still to this day they still, you know what I'm saying, inside that church. Why? Because they love death. They love being fools. You know what I'm saying? What did the Lord say? He said, how long will ye simple ones love simplicity? You know what I'm saying? Like, how long will you be? Give me Proverbs chapter 1
Proverbs 1.
and verse 20. Give me 22 or 23.
It's 22, sir.
It's like 26. 26.
26?
Come.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh.
Come. I will laugh at your calamity. Right? You pray to the Lord. You think that the Lord is with you, and you're going through some troubles. The Lord is mocking you. He's laughing at you. Right? He doesn't even hear you. You keep going.
When your fear cometh.
When you're what?
When your fear cometh.
When you're what?
When your fear cometh.
Right. Your fear. Right? That fear is a real, like, you understand once you're in the position of, like, damn, I messed up. Like, everything that you thought you were in control of, it just leaves out of you. Now you're just right there with doubt, with every ounce of doubt in your body, and you're just there, just like, damn, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get out of this one? When fear cometh, go ahead.
When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me.
Then what?
Then shall they call upon me.
Then shall they call upon me. Go ahead.
But I will not answer.
Oh my. The Lord will not hear you because you disobey. You're disobedient. You don't give a damn. You just care about your feelings. And really, the world revolves about how happy you have to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be happy in order to live. Like, if that was true. Like, you have to be constantly, oh, it's because I didn't like the way it made me feel. I didn't like the way it sounded, right? It's always about your carnal. It's always about what you want. And the Lord has proven that you ask for what you want, you will get what you want. But when you receive it, don't cry. When you receive what you want, don't come crying to the Lord, because now you're suffering. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to have some patience. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to endure. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to suffer. Day of Atonement is coming. You know what I'm saying? But don't just suffer that day. You know what I'm saying? Suffer every day. Get that leaven out of you, man. Don't let that leaven inside of you, because then it's going to grow and it's going to destroy. It's going to corrupt your whole body, because you love the world so much. You're going to be part of the world, man. Keep going.
Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me.
They shall seek me early. You think you found the Lord. Oh, I've made it, Lord. You think you with the Lord going to that Christian church, but you didn't find nothing there. Keep going.
They would none of my counsel. For they that
Verse 29.
Verse 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord.
Did not choose the fear of the Lord. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When you're doing something, right? When you're sinning against the Lord, there's something in your mind where you know consciously, self-consciously, you know it's wrong, right? But you ignore that fear. You ignore it, right? Because in the spare of the moment, you react to impulse. You react to what? Oh, well, I'm in the moment. Let me just enjoy myself. Let me just, you know what? I needed this. You You know what I'm saying? You tell yourself these things to encourage yourself that it's okay to sin against the Lord.
Just this one.
Just this once. One won't hurt.
One more won't hurt.
One more won't hurt. One more can be your last one. You know what I'm saying? One more can, yeah, one more, and that's it. Exactly. That's it. That's all she wrote. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Could be that it. But because you don't fear the Lord enough, you don't respect the Lord enough, you don't love the Lord enough, you're gonna have to ask yourself, where is that love going? Doesn't Proverbs, in Proverbs it says, where your treasure is where your heart is also. You know what I'm saying? If you give your love, your money all the way to that Christian church, and then you find out the truth, and you gave that church what, 30-40%, 20%, but you're not giving none of that to the ISUPK, where's really that love? You know what I'm saying? Where is your heart? Who do you really love? You love yourself? You don't take this work serious enough. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord shouldn't take you serious. You know what I'm saying? The Lord shouldn't take you serious. Why should the Lord take you serious, seeing that you don't take his priests serious? Keep going.
They would none of my counsel.
Right.
They despise all my reproof.
Right. You check a brother, you check the sister, you tell them, hey, you know what I'm saying, start coming to class. You know what I'm saying? Start doing this, and that. Right? Pay your tithes. You know what I'm saying? You tell them all that, keep the law, statutes, commandments. You know what I'm saying? Check in. Something simple as checking in. Some brothers don't even check in. Some brothers, you know what I'm saying, forget to check in. Some brothers, whatever, you know what I'm saying, they leave all that. Well, then you don't take his counsel. You know what I'm saying? You despise his counsel. You know what I'm saying? You despise all of his reproof, right? Keep going.
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
Well, guess what? Now that you're in distress, just ask yourself, how did you get to that point? You know what I'm saying? Just ask yourself, how did you get to those problems? How did those problems come about? Those problems don't just exist for no reason. You know what I'm saying? There's always a meaning behind it. There's always actions, you know what I'm saying, that have to be taken accountable for. Right? Keep going.
And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them.
For the what?
The turning away of the simple shall slay them.
Keep going.
And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Keep going.
But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
Read that last part again.
But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
Right. If you hearken unto the Lord, you'll be quiet from evil. Meaning, there's nothing that can come close to you because the Lord is with you. You'll be safe. You'll be quiet. We all have children. You know what I'm saying? We have children. We have families. We have uncles, grandmothers, family members that we love so much. You know what I'm saying? We wish them the best, right? And for the loved ones that we have, if you want to take care of them, it's going to be on you. It's a lot of work for one man. Imagine, Commander Jerry Hanna has a whole nation, you know what I'm saying, on his back. Like, come on. You do your part, man. We got to do our part. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it together and let's get it right with the Lord, right? So give me 3 and 5, chapter 3, verse 5.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right? Lean not unto thine own understanding, right? In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Right? You want to follow the Lord. You want a clear, easy route. You know what I'm saying? You want to be what the world likes to hear. Be happy, right? You want to be easy, right? Serve the Lord. Do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Do what's right. That's it, right? Now, what's right, I can't say for sure it's gonna be easy all the time, right? There's demons that brothers still fight to this day. And I remember when I was a young man, the first thing that everybody was telling me was, dang, you really quit smoking? That was the first thing they were telling me. It's like, dang, it's like, and they were just joking, like, but in reality, they were being serious. But I was being serious too when I said I was gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? Because I took this serious. You know what I'm saying? This oath that we all made with the Lord, it's not it's not something that when you go to the church you dip your fingertips in that holy water, right? In that sewer water, and put it on your face, make a couple crosses, say a couple prayers, and sit down and go to sleep for the rest of the service, because it's really boring in there because all you're hearing is humming and nothing, right? Couple bells, go get that cracker, get the wine, sit back down, stand up, hold each other's hands, do all that is for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you come in here, you know what I'm saying? You get dressed in all black, right? You pay your tithes, you stop smoking, you stop eating pork, you know what I'm saying? You cut certain people off, you know what I'm saying? You stop talking to certain people in your family, your friends. You know what I'm saying? You make new friends, you make new families, new family members, right? And that bond is unbreakable, right? What you're doing in here is nothing like out there in the world, man. We have cookouts. I mean, that when's that Cali cookout coming?
It's in October, isn't it?
October. If you could look it up for me, you know what I'm saying? Just for the end of the class, right? Like I said, man, there's gonna be new bonds, new brothers, new sisters. Christ said, "What? Who is my father and who is my brother? Who is my mother? Who is my father?" You know what I'm saying? Who's my family? Who can I trust? Can I trust you? Can I trust the brothers in the world? Can I trust my own family to give their lives up for me? No, because they're not here with me. They're not here like you're here. You know what I'm saying? You're not. They're not doing what Christ did. We're doing that work. You know what I'm saying? We're going and feeding the homeless. We're going to what? To level 3 danger zones. We're going across country, feeding, helping, prophesying, and breathing air to the dry bones, man. You know what I'm saying? We're giving life back to the brothers and sisters that deserve it and need it, man. We're giving back what's rightfully theirs, man. And this truth. You know what I'm saying? It's been stolen from you, man. This truth has been stolen from you. They have taught you that you're nothing but a nigga, nothing but a spick, nothing but a wetback, nothing but a savage, a redskin. You know what I'm saying? You're nothing but what every other nation talks about, which is you're a criminal, you're worthless. Not in the eyes of the Lord, man. Let's end this with Ezekiel. That's where I was going. Ezekiel 18 and 23. We'll start at 23.
book of Ezekiel, chapter 18, verse 23. Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die?
Right. The Most High is asking a question. Have I any pleasure at all that the wicked should die? Keep going.
Saith the Lord God, and not that he should return from his ways and live.
Right. This is a question to all brothers because this is a question to the class, right? Does the Lord pleasure in the death of the wicked? Yeah? Keep going.
But when the righteous turneth away from his righteousness and committeth iniquity, and doth according to all the abominations that the wicked man doeth, shall he live?
Shall he live? Right. Another question. Right. But when the righteous turneth away, meaning you are righteous and you turn away from your righteousness and commit iniquity and doth according to the abomination that the wicked man doth, do you deserve to live? Keep going.
All his righteousness,
All your righteousness, meaning everything that you've done so much work, man. You climbed up the ranks to an officer of 5,000. You know what I'm saying? You've been climbing up, and then all your righteousness, you took all that and you did an abomination, right? All your righteousness, keep going,
that he hath done,
that you have done, right? Keep going.
shall not be mentioned.
Should not be mentioned. Why? Keep going.
In his trespass that he hath trespassed, and in his sin that he hath sinned, in them shall he die.
In them shall he die. Everybody's gonna remind you. Everybody's gonna remember you for what you did, for what you died for. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you do all this work, it can be stained, right? It can be stained with one little error, with one trespass, with one wickedness. You know what I'm saying? With one wrongdoing against the Lord, against your brothers, against Christ, right? Go ahead. Keep going.
Right. Yet ye say, the way of the Lord is not equal.
Right?
Hear now, O house of Israel, is my way not, Salakia, is not my way equal? Are not your ways unequal?
Right. Keep going.
When a righteous man turneth away from his righteousness and committeth iniquity and dieth in them, for his iniquity that he hath done, shall he die.
Right. Shall he die? Keep going.
Again.
Keep
When
going.
the wicked man turneth away from his wickedness that he hath committed, and doth that which is lawful and right, he shall save his soul alive.
He shall save his soul alive. So to answer your question, the Lord does not have what the Lord would rather us do is change, turn our ways from our wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? We need to turn back to the Lord. That's what he would rather do. He doesn't have pleasure in killing us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what pleasure does a father have in destroying his son when he would rather have his son be heir to his throne? You know what I'm saying? Rather his son rule over his enemies, destroy all of his father's enemies. Like, come on, man. The Lord does not have pleasure in destroying Israel just because, you know what I'm saying? But because you disobeyed, it's only right as a father that he should destroy you. Right? And that is love as well. Because who the Lord corrects, he loves. Who he chastises, he loves. And no other nation does he know other than who? Israel. And Judah knows what? His judgments. Psalms 147 and 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these other nations don't understand what it means to be oppressed, to be enslaved, to be in bondage, to go through what a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man has gone through. They don't understand that, man. You know what they understand? Nothing. That's all they understand. They understand nothing. They understand this. They only understand wealth. That's what they understand. They understand the gold rush. They understand that to get that gold, they have to lynch you. In order to get that gold, they have to cut off your hands. In order to get all that wealth, they have to oppress you. In order to take over your land, they have to enslave you, destroy you. That's what they believe. They believe in what? Manifest destiny. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Verse 28, because he considereth and turneth away from all his transgressions that he hath committed, he shall surely live.
Right? You should surely live. Right? You wonder why you're still here? It's because the Lord sees what you're doing and you deserve to live. You know what I'm saying? Once you leave out of here, look, I can't guarantee you. You can look, there's so many stories. Man. Man. Read verse 29.
Verse 29, yet saith the house of Israel.
It's a lot, and I don't want to make it seem like just because you're in here guarantees you that you're safe. That does not mean that, right? Just because you're here, you listen, right? What's that scripture say? The doers, it's like the hearers. You won't be justified just by hearing. It's about what you do, that justifies you, whether you should live or die. You know what I'm saying? So it's not so much about you listening or sitting in class, typing in, you know what I'm saying, checking in or whatever, right? But what you do is really what initiates. Okay, this brother deserves mercy. You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Yet saith the house of Israel, the way of the Lord is not equal. O house of Israel, are not my ways equal? Are not your ways unequal?
Right. Again, same question, right? Keep going.
Therefore I will judge you, O house of Israel.
Oh, what?
O house of Israel.
Right. Oh, house of Israel. Keep going.
Every one according to his ways, saith the Lord God. Repent and turn yourselves from all your transgressions, so iniquity shall not be your ruin.
So iniquity shall not be your ruin, right? You transgress the Lord. They say it was like what is it in Romans? Transgression is the wages of sin. It's like man, the wages of sin is death. The water, you know. But yeah, the wages of sin is death. You know what I'm saying? If you disobey, if you break the least of my commandments, you know what I'm saying? You deserve death. You deserve to be put the least in the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? You deserve death. You deserve whatever the Lord, you know what I'm saying, has in stock for you. That's what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? So whatever's going on in your life, take it cheerfully. You know what I'm saying? Just say it's what the Lord wanted. What did Job do? Did Job complain?
In the end,
In the end? When? Did Job complain?
No, he did not.
When did he complain?
in the last part of the story, I read it.
Let's go.
Where's the
Like when he was like getting mad at God, he said,
You would have to show me that. If you don't have it today, either for next class, but we would have to find that out so we could break it down. Because
I know that Job said the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
exactly.
I know that his wife even came to him and was like, curse the Lord and die.
Right. Even his wife, like everybody around him turned against him. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knew that the people understood one thing, right? Our people understand that if the Lord is not with you, clearly something's wrong. And Job didn't do anything wrong. A perfect servant.
Hell,
You know what I'm saying?
it's a lot.
And to just go off of what you just said and what the Lord, you know what I'm saying, what we just read, if Job did sin or wasn't perfect, why did he receive mercy from the Lord? Why did he his why did everything that he had increased and doubled or tripled? You know what I'm saying?
He didn't curse him, but he did complain.
What was the complaint?
I'm gonna find it.
Okay.
You know what's crazy, sir? I remember Satan went before the Most High power to check in. And the Most High was like, "You see my, to paraphrase, you see my servant Job." Satan was like, "Yeah, I see it."
Right.
The Most High was like, "That's a stand-up man right there."
Right.
Satan was like, "Yeah, all right." He was like, "Sloppy, sir. You let me mess with him. I'll prove to you that he's not as stand-up as you say." He goes, "Go ahead. He's a stand-up dude." And Satan,
Right.
Most High gave him, inch after inch, like, "Okay, but don't touch this part." And he goes, "Okay, well, if you let me do this, I guarantee you, he'll fall." He said, "All right, go ahead. So, you can do that too."
Right.
And after all of it, the reason that Job received the multiplication of his abundance was because he passed his test.
Right. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Sorry, come on. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Lock.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Fear God, right? Fear God and keep his commandments, right? Keep going.
For this is the whole duty of man.
Right? For this is the whole duty of man, right? In conclusion, right? Fear the Lord and keep his commandments, because this is your duty. As Israel, this is what you should do. You know what I'm saying? Give me Proverbs 10 and 2. Go ahead, Salaki.
It's the part where he said it would have been better if he was never born to endure the presence of catastrophe of affliction.
But how is he complaining?
Yeah, because if you say to God, "Oh my God, it's so hard, like it's better if I was never born," then that's a complaint.
What chapter is that?
Okay. You can move on. I'll find it.
Salaki, let's get Proverbs 10 and 2.
Proverbs 10 and 2.
Yeah, we'll probably end the class with that.
In the book of Proverbs, chapter 10, verse 2. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death.
Read that again.
Treasures of wickedness profit nothing.
Treasures of what?
Wickedness.
Right. For instance, for you dope dealers, right? That believe in selling drugs, believe in oppressing your people, stealing, right? You got your treasures from what? From wickedness, right? It profits you nothing, right? It profits you nothing when in the end you're gonna be constantly living in fear, constantly living in where you're just gonna have to look at your shoulders just to watch your back. You can't trust nobody if nobody can trust you? Seeing what type of person you are, you want to be a what? An adulteress? You want to be a wicked man? You want to be a whoremonger? You want to, you know what I'm saying? You want to be a thief? You want to be a liar? I mean, you go ahead and do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, you're not gonna live long to see it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Read the last part.
Okay. But righteousness delivereth from death.
But righteousness delivereth from death, meaning you do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You do what the Lord tells you to do, right? You will be delivered, just like how we read in Ecclesiastes. It's like Ezekiel 18, right? If you turn your ways from doing from that which was evil and do good, then you shall live. You deserve to live. Isn't that equal to if you are righteous and you die, you deserve what? You deserve death. If you're righteous and you do evil, if you're righteous and you do evil, if you're righteous, we read it earlier. If you're righteous, right, and you commit an iniquity, you will die in that transgression. You know what I'm saying? So if you are wicked and change your wicked ways and do what is right, you shall live. Right? That's all the Lord wants for us. And that's what Christ has brought for us, which is a redemption. You know what I'm saying? What's called redemption is to redeem you from that destruction that is coming. You know, go ahead, Salaki.
Like the Most High just really wants us to behave.
It's simple. It's just really a father and son or a father and a child relationship. It's just you listen, you get rewarded. You disobey, you get punished. Simple, right? I mean, what better way to explain it?
I did find it. It's Job 3, verse 1.
Job 3
And it goes down.
and 1. After this, opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. Did he curse God?
It's the day that he was born. So
But did
he's
he-
like, that's still a complaint. If you went to your mother and you said, hey, I cursed the day I was born because of this and that, and then he continued.
Give me
The day perished.
it's better to go to the day of mourning than to the day of. See if I can find it for you. Just look that up. Day of mourning than to the day of. Let's see. Look up day of.
I got it.
Yeah, let's see.
So let's see.
Go ahead.
So it says here, the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men.
The end of what?
All men.
Keep going.
And the living will lay it to his heart.
Keep going.
Sorrow is better than laughter.
Sorrow is better than laughter. Keep going.
For by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better.
Where you at?
Verse 3, sir.
Ecclesiastes
Ecclesiastes 7 and 3, sir.
7 and 3. Sorrow is better than laughter. Keep going.
Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better.
For the sadness of the countenance is the heart made better, right? Keep going.
The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning.
The house of the wise is in the house of mourning. Right? Keep going.
It's like so the heart of the wise
So like the heart of the wise. Keep going.
is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth.
And what?
The house of mirth.
The house of mirth. So all that was going on, should he just rejoice?
Job,
Job,
he said he wasn't mad at God.
he wasn't mad. Did he curse? Because that was the complaint from the beginning, right? That if he will curse the Lord, and not only that, but his wife was trying to
Get him.
get him to curse the Lord, right? So then where did he curse the Lord? He said he cursed the day that he was born, right? But did he curse the Lord? Keep going up. Oh, go ahead. You got some?
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
1 second. All right. 27:46. 27:46. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 46. And about the ninth hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Just let me ask you something. Was Christ perfect when he walked the earth?
Yeah, to me.
Okay. So there's no part. We know that there's no private interpretation of the scriptures. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So was Christ perfect when he walked the earth?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. This right here that Christ just did. Would you liken that to the same thing that Job did?
No. Well,
Okay. So can we get what Job said again, sir?
Go ahead.
Oh, sure. And where were we at? Job.
It was, I believe, 3 and what? 3 and
Job
1.
3:1? Give me 1 second. Let me get there with you. Job 3:1. Boom. Now, let's go right back to our KJV here. Job 3:1. And we got, after this, Job opened his mouth and cursed his day. So what is it? What does it mean to curse his day?
I'm just saying, he said he never cursed God, but he was complaining the whole time.
So what does it mean to curse his day?
Like you said, it would have been better if he was never born.
Okay, so that's what it means to curse his day? Is that what you're saying? All right, wonderful. So it would be better. It would have been better if I were never born.
Yeah.
And Christ said, Father, why hast thou, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Do those two things sound similar at all? At all.
A little bit.
They sound a little similar. So Christ was perfect when he walked the earth. Christ is still alive. He rose from the dead, and he is with the Father right now. Job was called perfect before he allowed Satan, before the Most High allowed Satan to go and tempt him. Was Job perfect?
No, you said before.
Okay, cool. So let's go get in the scriptures where the Most High says Job is perfect. You do realize that the Most High called Job perfect and said to Satan, he is upright and there's no one like him in the land. Do you realize that? Okay. Was the Most High lying? So he was telling the truth, meaning what? Job was perfect, right? Okay. Is the scripture right and you're wrong? Okay. No question.
No, you too wild about it. So to end this class, all right. So from what the class is about, right? Where has the love of your God, it's like, where has the love for your God gone? You know what I'm saying? So as far as what you do, right? Because as we all know, and we just read, we all know him by our works, right? what do what can you say for sure is going to reassure you that you love the Most High?
That you keep the commandments.
Right.
Straight up.
You got anything? Right. If you keep His commandments, right? If you do what the Lord tells you. I mean, what more? And then not only that, but like to what the Lord wants, right? Because I remember the sister saying that it's the Lord rejoices in the death of the wicked, right? But as far as go ahead,
It's lucky the Lord doesn't rejoice in the death of the wicked.
Kind of, I know he doesn't. No,
Okay.
it's like
It's fine.
no. I asked a question earlier, and I said, you know, what I'm saying, does the Lord rejoice in the death of the wicked, right? And no, He does not. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't rejoice when His children are disobeying. What He rather do is turn them from their disobedient ways
Right.
into a righteous and corrected way, right? What we should do as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is that we should just do what the Lord tells us and not do what our flesh tells us. What, you know what I'm saying? What the world tells us it's okay to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The world allows you to do all types of things. But when it comes to the Lord, there's only one way to serve Him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I believe there's a church in 7th Street, right? Where it's like LGBTQ friendly church.
Mm.
Now, is God in there?
Uh,
Because we know that God said that there will be no what?
There will be no sodomites
In the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? You can't be weak. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? You can't give in. You cannot be an abuser. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a wicked man. You know what I'm saying? Just to put it plain and simple. So with that, I'm gonna pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kabatamas.
Let's get that priest in hand. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, chapter 3, verses 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or the teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. At Salakia, I was only able to find that out.
No sweat.
I'll have to post it on my Facebook.
You got the next high holy day is blowing of the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. That's on first day of the 7th month, which is on Friday, September 7th. It's like Friday, the 15th of September, 2023. You find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 24 through 25. Go ahead.
All right. So now that said, I'm going to remind Akim and Akim to check with your camp leader in Arizona. That will be Officer Apayat for any updates that you need. Okay, if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That includes boots, shirt, pants, headband, or war scarf. With that, we're going to give our instructor a courtesy salute, Salakia. So it's just men of Israel, of course, Amadim. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat. Amadim, Barak. Yahweh Bashem Yashar Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Shabbat.
Yadu B'tah, which means hands down. Sar, face towards the sister. Amadim, which means to stand. We're going to give our sister a courtesy salute. And sister, what we're going to do is we're just going to walk you through it. So a men of Israel might do Shabbat, Mayim, Ra,
Yahweh Shema Alatam Ba'Hashem Yahushai.
All right, sister. So what I want you to do is clasp your hands like so. This is our salute that you return to the brothers in the school. Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Ayel,
Al,
Atah,
Ata,
Ba'Hashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
In the English, that means the Most High. In the name of Yahweh Shai, watch over and protect you. Right?
Okay.
All right. And with that, we are going to close our class. All right.